Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. We're coming to you today with some tidbits of news and some hilarious looks at how people are destroyed over the fact that Donald Trump got elected in the Democratic Party, and they continue to eat each other alive. And we have a clip here that we're going to show you shortly, showing just how nasty things have gotten between the Democrats. Anyway, well, here, go ahead and take a look.
My next guest, known as the Nostradamus of U.S. elections for correctly predicting 9 of the last 10 presidential races, using his own 13 keys to the White House, criteria a candidate must win in order to achieve victory. Well, he now says that he's ready to call the race. American University history professor Alan Lichtman.
Democrats will hold on to the White House, and Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States.
And I finally come to my final prediction and concluded that the White House party, the Democrats, now represented by Kamala Harris, would not lose any more than 5 keys. Thus, my prediction is Kamala Harris will be a precedent-breaking president of the United States, the first woman president in U.S. history.
Denied.
You suck, you jackass.
But wait! There's more!
Don't blame the voters. I think, look, we could get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
Couldn't
not
find
right,
him
and
before
I
the
was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who won?
You want to make your
You
point,
live
make your
in
point.
a total
Don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Yeah,
so quiet with your personal attacks.
Yeah, come find out again.
Make whatever point you want.
Yeah.
Don't
Look,
make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
You attacked me personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
On this program, I've never been able to finish a thought.
How many books have you published? No, because you're personally attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand for personal
brother, you got it wrong.
Say whatever you want.
You were preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just finish a goddamn thought?
Don't call me stupid. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say, it's great to see you Democrats all getting along so well.
Who taught you manners?
It's lovely to see a post-election harmony as you all come together again.
Hey, Alan, right now. Hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut-up juice, so can you just shut up for a second? And let someone who knows what they're doing.
You're so right, Pierre. Okay? You're so right. We're so unified right now.
You want, I will not sit here and stand for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost
blasphemy against you? Who the hell are you? Are you Jesus Christ, you loser? Okay, can I just give the correct answer for once? Okay, here we go.
You ain't black. Why are you still here?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, no.
There's no shame in stepping away because you acknowledge you just don't have it anymore.
You were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy this and not join them.
You are the biggest loser in the world.
And that, my friends, is called Bidenomics.
It's unbelievable the way they're going at each other's throats over the fact that they never will get over that they have lost this election and lost the House, lost the Senate, and the executive branch all in one fell swoop against all of the proponents that this was going to be a continuation of the Biden-Harris regime one more time. And they are certainly getting nervous and backbiting each other now rather than just going after the other side of the aisle that has upset them so badly. Well, these things will continue on. What is continuing on is the Biden administration's push to help the Ukraine one last time. But if you looked at any of the news cycles this morning or last evening, they were showing you where Zelensky has said he doesn't expect to win this war, and he's just ongoing and trying to now say that he's willing to negotiate a diplomatic settlement. And that I found very, very interesting last night and this morning watching him have an interview with somebody there in the Ukraine. It looked to be taking a place aboard a boat or a train. I haven't figured that out yet. The movement makes me lean toward a boat, but it could have been a train. And we'll see where that goes. But I think the fear right now in Zelensky's mind is that if he continues down the path that he has started to walk down with these missiles and firing them into mainstream Russia, it's not going to bode well for them very much longer. The retaliation on the part of Russia, along with now an ally of North Korea, is a tad bit frightening when it comes to the fact that that could kick off a further European involvement, and we don't want to see another world war by any stretch of the means, and I'm sure that you all agree with that. And this is why we have made the election choices we have made in this government to keep our heads out of these things and look closer to home and cleaning up some of the infrastructure problems we have, as well as some of the judicial problems that have been taking place in the last 4 years with lawfare and the weaponization of three-letter agencies that should have been extremely neutral right down the aisle. But we're not looking at it in that fashion with this administration, but with the new incoming administration, this will be fixed. And it should be fixed rightly so. We got a look again yesterday at Alvin Bragg's insistence on he keeping this case against Donald Trump open. This guy is nothing short of a criminal in his own right and should have been taken to task on this. All while he's doing this to Trump, you have a young man on trial for trying to save people's lives in a subway car and being prosecuted by Alvin Bragg. What is it? Because he would resemble somebody that may work or wear a maggot hat? Well, if that's the case, then there's more to hold against Alvin Bragg and his puppet judge, Marchon, who has refused yesterday to make any decision but to kick the can down the road one more time and keep the sword of Damocles draped over the head of an incoming president that has an enormous amount of work to accomplish and doesn't need a distraction from the likes of Judge Marchon and Alvin Bragg, who both should be indicted for what they did in the phony scam trial that took place there in New York, trying to keep him from the campaign trail. And that is pure and simple, and we all see this now, and we don't need shaded glasses to see it. It's right out there, clear and present in front of you every day. The other things that are in the news are the pulling out of Democratic hair in the Senate as far as these confirmation hearings will come to pass with the Trump picks for his new cabinet, which is, it's ridiculous how they're coming up with this, that, and the other reasoning that these people do not have the ability or the expertise to go into the jobs that are so important. Well, let me just back you up 4 years and let's look at the cabinet picks of Joe Biden. Let's start with transportation. He puts in Pete, the mayor of a small town, Buttigieg, with no experience in transportation other than the fact he can spell the word road. And it was a disaster because in the first few months of his administration, the person in charge of transportation was on maternity leave so he could fake breastfeed their adopted baby. This was a good choice. This was having the experience needed to run an entire organization of transportation across not only the United States, but incoming and outgoing ships, trains, you name it. He has zero experience in any of that. And yet now they're going to yell that Trump's pick has no experience in there. Come on. There's no two sides to this thing that is one side picks are okay and the other side's picks need to be trounced into the ground and reputations ruined. Look at the diversity cabinet that the other guy put together and no one shook a stick at it. They got passed. So why are we now holding up or threatening to hold up Trump's appointments?
Are you kidding me?
The other big push on the Democratic side today is that they are going to try to shove through as many left-wing judgeships that they can before he has to leave office. Well, I think we have enough uber-liberal judges on the benches throughout these states as it is, and I believe that if you want to vet somebody, the importance of vetting a new judge that is going to sit in that seat for a long time should be done, and it should be done correctly, not something shoved through so you can say you have a liberal judge on that bench, he'll go our way. And this is what they have done, and they have done this throughout. Look at some of the Senate hearings, go back on C-SPAN if you can, and look at some of the questioning of the judges that the Biden administration has put before Congress and to Senate for approval. These people have written far left papers. They have made far left judgments. They have been partisan in their decisions in many, many areas and still got pushed through. And now they want to push more. This is not the time when you're 3 months away from a new government taking over that is looking to fix things, to add more wood to an already burning fire. Well, if you want to know what's going on in the world today, you're not going to get it from mainstream media. They continue to lie. In the Joe Scarborough big visit to Mar-a-Lago, they were right back at it this morning, doing the same damn thing that they always do, and that is running down the Trump picks, the Trump administration, and where their idea of diplomacy and democracy is going. Out of the two of those idiots that are sitting there, out of their mouth comes a call out to the weak-minded to do things they didn't need to be doing. Pure and simple. Even Kaiser agrees with that. So that all said and done, we're looking at now Mattel Toys is issuing a stern warning to the parents that went out and bought the Wicked dolls for their children for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, whatever, because they have decided, as Hollywood often does, because there's no imagination left there, to take a play off of Broadway that wasn't really that all good to begin with and make a worse movie out of it. And that's the big holiday push for children. And then when they go on to this website that is on the box, it takes them to a porn site. Well, the world is not in need of this kind of subliminal education that we're giving our children now. Well, here, just take a look at this.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
The big screen version of Wicked, starring Ariana Grande, is expected to be a huge holiday hit with plenty of product tie-ins.
And the movie has a message about using your voice to speak up when you don't think something is right, which, you know, we have been doing on this show. And other places have been doing that, hoping that people will listen. But they didn't.
Trump Derangement Center. The film stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who channeled their on-screen characters at the LA premiere over the weekend. They also gave a thumbs up to the dolls being marketed in their likeness.
It's perfect.
The dolls look adorable.
I got a bad feeling about this.
There's this we got to talk about. This is wild. It's a misprint on Mattel's new line of Wicked dolls, getting a lot of attention online. A link on the box was supposed to take you to the film's official website. Instead, it takes you to an adult film site.
Whoa. Hey, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Oh.
And a link on the box was supposed to take you to the film's official website. Instead, it takes you to an adult film site. The toy company says it regrets the misprint on the packaging and wants parents to know the link is not appropriate for kids.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
That's really unfortunate.
I know.
Hopefully you just, they're interested in the doll. They throw the packaging away.
You hope so.
Yeah, you don't do that.
It was probably a mistake.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Because it's all part of the plan.
Is that the most disgusting thing that you could possibly think of, going into these holidays that represent the birth of the Savior of this world, Jesus Christ? No, not the time of year to be making a mistake like that, Mattel. Your woke agenda is well heard now, and we wonder if it was not done intentionally. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. I think it's horrendously bad and a bad choice on some marketeer's part at Mattel Toys to have pulled this off. And again, I'm not telling you to boycott anything, but I would steer your children clear of that mess that they're calling the movie Wicked right now. It is exactly that.
Oh, God, no.
Wicked. And a take on a storybook story that held positive for year after year, and now they have to fool with that because Hollywood's imagination went down the tube with free thinking out there and an agenda to woke the entire country back into whatever. Look at the casting anymore and ask yourself, why did they have to remake that and miscast it? Because your memories of this, the way it was originally thought and done by Walt Disney and the Imagineers, has been tampered with and ruined by this new corporate ideology that's coming out of Disney. It's a shame to have to say that, and I'm sure Walt Disney would have never, in his wildest imagination, which was a deep imagination, ever have gone along with some of the crap that they have put out in the last few years. It's a terrible thing when you have to watch even the boxes that children's toys come in for subliminal messages to be transferred into society that we do not need and do not need to tolerate any longer. And that's enough on that side. Enough said. We're here on Wednesday, again, hump day. We're halfway through a week and on our way to a fabulously cold and wet weekend coming up here in East Tennessee and in most of Appalachia. So we wish that you are going to have great weather. And for those of you that like snow and you're located in the areas where it's going to see some snow, starting on Thursday here, they're forecasting for a 1-inch dusting. But in the mountain areas that are so sorely in need of getting back on track, in the western North Carolina sections, we'll get some snow up on the ski slopes, which are dependent on tourism. Hopefully with one of the roads, major roads, now with a temporary bridge on it, people can get back into western North Carolina without too much trouble right now. But be aware that on Route 26 and Route 40, there are bridges out, and they're doing their best to get them open as rapidly and as safely as possible. So if you can get in there and give these people a spot of business during the holidays, I urge you to do that. I also urge you to be very careful on your exploits out of the house in these next coming months with these gang members on the loose, trying to be rounded up by the new administration. And these Venezuelan gangs are very nasty people. So be aware at all times when you're out and around of who's lurking and who may be able to do you harm, and pay attention. Do not walk around with your head in the air anymore until these things are cleared up. Thank you all for tuning in to the Kaiser Report every day. They give us plenty of fodder to put out. There's plenty of memes that are easy to put together now to show you what's actually happening, things that you don't see or that is said on mainstream media and then reversed.
One thing, though, that and I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of work to do, because there absolutely is. For people who are talking about this as if we got completely decimated, the numbers don't bear that out. So Trump didn't cross 50% of the popular vote. So the majority of Americans didn't vote for him, and Senate Democrats performed really well.
I beg to differ.
So the majority of Americans didn't vote for him. and Senate Democrats performed really well.
The Republicans have taken not just the White House, but also the Senate at this point, and pretty decisively. They have a 52-seat majority already, just with the races that have been called so far. They flipped seats in West Virginia, Ohio, and Montana to get there.
For people who are talking about this as if we got completely decimated, the numbers don't bear that out.
President-elect Donald Trump has officially swept all 7 battleground states. Arizona is the last state to be called. The final electoral vote count, Trump 312 to Vice President Harris's 226.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
Quick decision.
Hey, loser!
So we're happy to bring that to you. We're happy to bring you bits of news about what's going on worldwide rather than just here. But we have plenty to talk about here in the United States until things get fixed and put back to where we can tolerate short bits of inflation for a while, but we need to get out of that inflation humdrum that we're sitting in right now and see grocery prices and gasoline prices that will go down and be better controlled, and we'll get hold of our energy supplies here in the United States and be once again, hopefully, energy independent from the Saudis and everybody else, including Iran for oil or Venezuela for oil. And let's get back to the point where they respect us once more and show it. And then we'll be okay. So not a lot more going on anywhere that we need to tell you about other than your safety is very important and your family's safety is important. So be aware at all times of where you are, who's around you, and trust people that you know and respect, and go from there. But Thanksgiving holidays are upon us next week, and we're hoping you all have a good Thanksgiving. And for those of you that are being boycotted by the blue members of your family, don't take it too much to heart. They're entitled to their opinions. They think differently than we do because of a failed education process and a brainwashing process that was put into their universities to indoctrinate people rather than educate people. And this lies a lot of the problems with the non-understanding of the blue hair individuals that are out there, or with their shaved heads now, and they have an opinion, and just do not engage in an argument, because you cannot argue and win with people who don't understand. So don't alienate them. Love them like you always have. And in one case or another, they will wake up and realize that they love you too for what you've done for them in raising them all their life, and realize that they have been sold a bill of goods by the schools and the universities that they attended. And they'll realize that they made mistakes, and maybe one day they'll apologize and tell you they love you back. So with that, we're going to say have a great rest of this Wednesday. If I find another funny clip today, I'll post it. But we'll give you a couple here today, and we'll go from that. So God bless you all, and remember, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for your commentary and news bits. Bye-bye now.